Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Zalfa Arifah with the last student ID number 058 and I'm from class 4B. Before I start the presentations, I would like to ask you a simple question. Have you ever been in a classroom where students misunderstand the teacher, stay silent, or feel disconnected from the lessons? Sometimes the problem is not intelligence or motivations, but communications. So, different cultures, language, personalities, and learning styles can affect how students learn in the classroom. So, today I want to introduce a very useful book called Classroom Communications and Diversity Enhancing Educational Practice by Robert G. Powell and Dana L. Powell. Overall, the main purpose of this book is to help teachers communicate more effectively in the first classroom and support all students fairly. So, this book explains how communications and diversity influence teaching and learning, and why teachers need to understand students from different backgrounds. The target audience of these books includes future teachers, education students, classroom interactions, and even experienced teachers who want to improve their communication skills in diverse classrooms. I believe this book is especially valuable for future teachers, English learners, and education students because it not only gives theories but also practical strategies that can be applied in real classrooms. The book is divided into four units. The first unit explains the foundations of classrooms communication. It discuss verbal communications, nonverbal communication, listening skills, motivation, and factor influencing learning. And the second unit focuses on diversity. The book talks about cultural differences, gender, language diversity, and students with special needs. The authors explain that diversity should not be seen as a problem but as a valuable research in education. And the third unit discusses teacher-student relationship and classroom management. It explains how positive relationship can improve academic engagement and classroom behavior. The last unit gives practical teaching strategies, including different instructions, cooperative learning, and the use of technology in education. One thing I like about this book is that it uses real classroom examples. For example, in one chapter, the authors tell a story about a Native American student who stays silent during class because of cultural values about communications. The teacher misunderstands the student's behavior and conflict happens. This example shows how important cultural understanding is in teaching. After understanding the content of the book, I will now explain the strength and weakness of this book. First, strengths. The book is highly relevant to modern classrooms. Today's classrooms are very diverse. Students come from different cultural, social, and linguistic backgrounds. Because of this, teachers need communication skills more than ever. This book explains real educational challenges that teachers face, such as language barriers, misunderstandings, students' motivations, and classroom interactions. I think this makes the book realistic and useful for future teachers. And the second strength, the explanations are detailed and supported by theories. The authors use communication theories, educational theories, and research findings to support their ideas. For example, the book discusses constructivism, multiple intelligence, emotional intelligence, and communication models. These theories help readers understand why students behave differently and how teachers can respond effectively. And the third strength, the book provides practical strategies. This is not only a theoretical book, it also gives practical suggestions for classroom management, listening skills, communication techniques, and teaching strategies. For example, the book explains how classroom seating arrangement can affect participations and interactions. Those are some of the strengths that make this book valuable and informative. However, besides its strengths, these books also have several weaknesses that should be considered. First weakness, some parts are too long and academic. The book contains many theories and detailed explanations, so some readers may find it difficult or tiring to read. Sometimes the language is very formal and academic, which may reduce students' interest. And second weakness, some examples are focused mostly on American classrooms. The book discusses multicultural educations in the United States, so some situations may not completely match classrooms in other countries. For example, cultural issues in Indonesia may be different from those in America. Third weakness, the book has limited visual design. This book doesn't contain many colorful visual features or interactive activities. Because of this, some readers may feel the book looks less interesting. Even though the book has some weaknesses, it still offers many important lessons for teachers and students. So, why should we read this book? I recommend this book for education students, future teachers, and English learners because communication is one of the most important skills in teaching. A teacher may have excellent knowledge, but without good communications, students may not understand the lessons or feel comfortable in class. So, this book helps readers understand students more deeply. It teaches us that students are not all the same. Different students learn differently, communicate differently, and respond differently. I also think this book is important because it promotes respect and inclusion. The authors encourage teachers to appreciate diversity instead of seeing it as a weakness. And future teachers can also use this book to prepare for real teaching situations. The examples in the book help readers imagine actual classroom problems and think about possible situations. In my opinion, this book is very meaningful because it reminds us that education is not only about teaching subjects but also about understanding people. Because in the end, successful teaching is not only about delivering lessons, but also about understanding students and building meaningful communications. So that's all from me. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.